Hi, I'm Tracy Pierce, and today I have a special treat for you. I'm interviewing my friend Jennifer Pennell. For the last year, Jennifer has been doing a no shopping challenge. So, to let you know a little bit more about Jennifer, she is a reformed corporate executive, passionate meditator, curious parent, and lifelong traveler. Jen helps people get unstuck, regain their freedom, and reignite their enthusiasm in life, love, and work. Jen has been working with people's inner landscapes as an executive and meditation coach for over 15 years to help bring joy back into life. She has facilitated over 20 workshops centered around play, meditation, empowerment, and wildness. Additionally, Jennifer has over 1,000 hours as an IST practitioner, a meditation-based healing and regression modality. Jen, thanks so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited to talk about your project here.
Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate it. And thanks for the elaborate introduction.
Yeah. So you're down to the last 2 weeks of your full no shopping for a year. Is that right?
Yes, it ends at the end of the year, and I am hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, we're just about 2 weeks away from the end of the year. We're recording this today. So what is the year of no shopping? Is this a trend, or what do you know about it? How did you hear about it?
Sure. It's kind of a funny story. My cousin had sent me this article. It was this New York op-ed by the author Ann Patchett, and she had done a year of no shopping. And I was like, wow, she's amazing. That's really inspiring. Did not even occur to me to do it. I just thought that she was really kind of amazing and who would do such a crazy thing. And then I got another article from a blogger that was called a depth year. And he talked about kind of the no shopping, but he added into it sort of this no new hobbies and this place of sort of having, rather than going really broad across your life and just dabbling in things, really sort of simplifying and going deep. And so both of those articles sort of left me like, wow, that would be amazing. I still wasn't on board with doing it. And then my cousin challenged me. She said, why don't we both do it? See how long we can go. And she didn't end up doing it, but I sat with it for a good solid, I'd say 3 weeks before I decided, you know what, I want to do this. And I really grappled with how long, maybe I should do 6 months and then have like a renewal period. I really sort of, it was a lot of grappling. And then I decided that no, if I was going to do it, I wanted it to be the full year. I felt like after 6 months, it's like 6 months was probably just when it was going to get hard. And so I really wanted to see through the year. And then I announced it. I announced it by blog. I announced it by social media. So I really had to hold myself accountable.
So your cousin inspired you, but she didn't end up doing the challenge either. Is that right?
That's correct, but that's okay. I thank her for the inspiration.
Yeah, sometimes we just need a little push in the right direction. So it sounds to me like I did some reading about what a no shopping challenge for a year might be, like certain restrictions on certain items, but not others. So could you tell us more specifically what a year of no shopping actually meant for you?
Sure. I mean, and I think for anybody doing this, it would have to be really specific to the individual. So mine is, so for me, it's specifically no clothes, no shoes, or no accessories for myself. So on those lines, those are the purchases I cannot make. I can still buy toilet paper. I can still buy, toothbrushes. And then in addition to that, I added no Starbucks. And I also added no new hobbies. So this was sort of a bit of an ode to the blogger who had written about the depth year. His blog is called Raptitude. He's really, I can't remember his name right now, but it's a pretty powerful blog. But so no new hobbies, because I have a habit of getting really excited about starting things. Oh, I'll take this class and then I'll listen to like the lectures, but not do any of the practices or not do the exercises. So.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. And like in my own experience, hobbies can really be expensive and require a lot of accessories. Like I think of myself, like I used to do a lot of long distance cycling or like cross country skiing. It's easy to throw a lot of money stuff in those kind of hobbies, or like I'm thinking of my husband's Dungeons and Dragons hobby, just like hobbies we can really buy a lot of stuff for. So I wonder if there were some really interesting things that happened during this year of no shopping that really stood out to you, or things that you learned that were really just striking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a journey, and I've got to say that I had no idea. I mean, I sort of thought like, I'm not going to shop. I'm going to, get a sense of where I spend money. I thought it was going to be just frankly really practical. And it ended up being so much more than that. The more that I cleared out, like I thought I would hoard my clothes, right? Like once I got rid of a bunch of stuff, I thought that the items I would have, because I had fewer, I would hold on to them and I would hoard them. And instead what I found is throughout the year, I've given more and more away. Like I have come to value the white space in my closet, so that the space in between the clothes, and it's like, I feel like my clothes can breathe. I feel like I can breathe. And as I've done that, it's been so interesting because I feel like I have more headspace. I have more room. It's like, I don't think I ever realized how cluttered I felt, even just like selecting an outfit. You have a bunch of clothes, you kind of like some of them, you really like some of them, but you haven't worn this in a while. Maybe you should wear this today. Like just the 30 thoughts that go through my head just to like put on an outfit that I didn't even know were there. And now as things have really streamlined, it's so effortless. I just grab a top, I grab some bottoms and out, and I'm done. And so I think just from a headspace standpoint, it's changed so much. I mean, it's changed how I go to the mall. It's changed how I go to Target. It's completely shifted an entire attitude that I didn't even know that I had.
Wow. Yeah, that's really, really fascinating. I can really relate to the closet thing too. I've gone through the paring down of the closet, and wow, to just look in the closet and you love everything and it's an easy decision. It is such a different headspace. And I just laugh at the movies now, they show the girls trying on the multiple outfits, like, wow, it doesn't have to be like that.
No, and it's so funny because, so I got really creative, right? There are points where I'm like, I need some new clothes. But I did clothing swaps. And I had a bunch of women come, and they were so happy to get rid of their clothes and to trade out and to get some new clothes. And everyone got rid of more than what they took. I was left with literally 150 items of clothing at the end of the day when everyone left. And the part of me that was like, I haven't had clothes, was so excited. I mean, I spent the whole night going through them all and trying them on, and it was so great. But at the end of the evening, I hardly kept anything, because there were only probably 2 items that I was like, I really love this. I love the way it feels. I love how it looks on me. I love how I feel in it. And everything else, there were probably another eight items I normally would have kept because they were really smart and practical and they fit well, but I didn't love them. And so I probably kept 2 of those, and then I got rid of them within a week because I realized I was probably they were going to sit in my closet.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big realization. I mean, clothes in this, especially in the United States, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but I mean, I do a lot of thrift store shopping, and it's always just overflowing in there. And I've read articles of just how much extra clothing the United States has, like so much so that they can't even give it away to third world countries in some ways. And the clothing thing is so huge. Now, I wonder, you talked about having this response with this women and, being able to kind of skirt around the rules, it would still get new clothes. But I wonder, I remember seeing some of your social media posts where, you said something to somebody about this no shopping thing, and then their response was something maybe you wouldn't have expected. Were there any responses that you got from outsiders that really stood out to you when you mentioned the no shopping thing?
Yeah, it's funny. I would say a couple things. I would say this was for me. It was a very private thing. I wasn't out to sort of introduce minimalism to the world or try to get anybody on board with anything around no shopping. It was an intensely personal experience for me, and I was surprised at sort of how many people I've posted about a lot of things. I've shared a lot of things. And I think more than anything, this is one that I had more and more people come back to me with responses like, wow, I want to try that. I don't know if I can do a year, but I want to, people were intrigued and it resonated, and they really wanted to, I think there's something that they really felt around this kind of clearing out that was really appealing. And so one, I was really surprised by how many people resonated with it and kind of have come back to me over the course of the year and said, tell me more. I think I want to do this next year. That's been really, really surprising to me. And I mean, how amazing. And then the other thing I would say is like the universe is generous. Like there is something about like me not shopping that all of a sudden people wanted to give me clothes. They wanted to, I can't tell you how many people gave me Starbucks gift cards because I can receive gifts, but I can't actually purchase things. I was even at a Starbucks and my kids had given me a gift card, but they didn't know if there was any money on it, but they gave it to me and said, good luck, Mom. Right. And I was on and so I'm on this, 10-hour drive and I'm midway through and I'm pretty tired. And I was like, oh, just an iced tea sounds so good. Something with caffeine. And I really want Starbucks. I don't even drink that much Starbucks or caffeine, but for some reason it was really front and center. And so I stopped at a Starbucks and I go up to the counter and I tell the guy, I'm like, I've got this gift card. If there's nothing on it, I can't buy Starbucks this year. It's something I've stopped myself from doing. So if there's nothing on here, I can't buy the drink. So I just want to be upfront so I just don't seem really weird when I suddenly don't buy it. And so I run it, and of course there's no money on it. Naturally, there's no money on it, and I'm standing there looking like a fool, staring longingly at the iced tea. And he's like, "It's on me. What do you want?" And it's like, wow. I was just so touched, it was like this thing of like, there's something in the buying of things that it's like, we don't trust that the world will provide for us. We don't trust that the universe will provide. And the more I kind of let go of the buying and the less that I've been engaged in feeling like I need to make sure I purchase these things in my life, like the more that I feel like the universe is just, wants to give.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, I remember. I think that was the one I actually read about on social media, where it's like, oh wow, that's so interesting how people then want to give when you're in this situation of I'm not buying this. It's really, really interesting. I wonder if, you mentioned people coming to you and wanting more information about the no shopping thing. I mean, what advice or maybe information would you want people to have if they're considering embarking on a year of no shopping?
I would say don't do what I did, which was I totally cleared out my closet. I forgot to buy new clothes before I started. So I started at a deficit with so yes, the advice that I would give, I would say sit with it, be thoughtful. You want to set yourself up for success. So I would say, spend some time thinking about where are the places where you do spend money or where this is challenging for you. And the places where perhaps, you make purchases to make you feel better. I mean, that's where the no Starbucks piece came from, quite frankly, is because Starbucks was like sort of this low cost way of like when I was feeling bad or a little bit sad. It's like, oh, I'll just go spend $3 and get myself a little, fancy drink to make myself feel better. So it was just, so like I said, each person is going to be unique in terms of the no shopping, and there's going to be different places that people can touch into where they can really see, hey, this is a place where I find I purchase for emotional needs or for comfort, and to be really thoughtful about those. And then to choose from there, the things that stop.
Yeah, that sounds really good, because I know like the time we're recording this is about 2 weeks before the beginning of a new year, and a lot of people will just make New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm going to exercise more. Oh, I'm going to do this, without really like thinking about it or kind of having a game plan of how they might actually commit to something that's going to work for a longer period of time. So that feels really good to actually sit with it, because it's easy to just make a declaration and then, oh, it's February now. Like, who cares?
I think to that point, the other thing that I would say is that be really, really specific about what you're going to cut out. Don't just say, I'm not going to purchase anything, because even I felt like I was pretty specific with the things that I said I'm not purchasing. And yet I spent so much time trying to like figure out like, oh, I'm not supposed to purchase that, but maybe there's kind of an angle in, like, it's like negotiating with myself. And so if you don't have really, really specific guidelines, you will find a way around it. You will find a way to, end up purchasing those things, and it becomes this sort of eroding resolution.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if this somehow connects to the work that you do with people as well, or how it connects to your professional life.
Sure. I mean, everything about my professional life is really sort of finding these places inside where we don't need to rest on the external world for validation or for support or joy or anything, because it all exists inside. And so this was really sort of front and center for me, because it was all of the places in which I rest or I seek fulfillment or contentment or satisfaction, or just frankly dopamine hits from the external world. And so for me, it was a really good exercise in terms of, seeing the places where I have my own addictions. And I did find like, I was really specific about the things I couldn't purchase. And I found that I ended up buying a lot less across all categories, but there were certain categories where it was like, it totally cheap. Like I ended up like buying so many more books, and it was like, oh, and somewhere I sort of caught myself, and it was like, oh, I've just shifted it. I've just moved it from one place to another. And so it was really, there was such a great exploration of sort of what's happening internally that was really alive, and a lot of kind of insights to be gained around who I am and where my own addictions are, which I think would really, it's where I work with people. So it was fun to play with my own edge.
Yeah, I can really feel that thing where, like, oh, you're trying to skirt around, oh, where can I come in? Where can I buy things? And really getting to see maybe the root of what's actually happening there. It seems like a really, really great way to explore your inner landscape, for sure. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's anything else about your no year of shopping that I haven't asked about that really stands out that you'd like to share.
Oh, I mean, it's funny because it's been challenging in ways that I didn't expect, and easier in the ways that I thought it was going to be hard. At some point, I was so happy not to have more clothes. That was the easiest part of this whole thing. And I would say what I just learned so much. I mean, I would say my life has changed dramatically through this exercise in ways I couldn't predict. It's like you set an intention and you have an idea of like what this intention is going to accomplish for you. And then the intention takes on a life of its own. And it's had a much greater and positive, but much greater impact than I would have ever anticipated across my life. Wow. So I'd say be forewarned.
Things might change in ways you don't expect. Kind of an expect surprises kind of situation.
Exactly.
Well, Jen, thanks so much for taking the time to share your experience with us and being really brutally honest and giving us some advice for those who might be interested in doing their own year of no shopping. For those of you out there watching this, if you like this video, I'd love for you to give us a thumbs up here. So stay tuned to this channel for more videos on reclaiming space, both in your home and in your life. And I'll go ahead and put Jen's contact information down in the information below if you're interested to contact her or be in touch with her. And until next time, keep on clearing the clutter and be well.